What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a tech review of some security cameras from Reolink. So recently, as some of you guys know, I moved and I was in the market for some more security cameras. I was doing a bunch of research and I was just like completely blown away by the number of options that are available and trying to figure out which one to get, blah, blah, blah. And I get asked to review things all the time. But I don't think I've ever been asked to review security cameras, but I was by this guy right as I'm researching them, and the timing was just too perfect. So here we are with a review. Now the camera itself is an RLC-410 from Reolink, and these are actually coming in a full system. So the system that I have here is the RLK8-410B4. Basically, it's just for the RLC-410s with a 2 terabyte DVR, which you don't necessarily have to get those exact things. So what are these? These are PoE, or Power over Ethernet cameras. They are indoor-outdoor cameras wherever you wanted to put them. And they also have infrared, so you can see at night. So actually you can see all the little infrared LEDs there. So that's actually quite a few LEDs. So that should get us some pretty good distance and pretty good coverage. The other cameras that I have, I want to say just have like 4 LEDs, and that actually gets quite a bit of coverage. So it'll be interesting to see how good these are. So I've got 4 of these cameras to play with here. And so we need to talk about what PoE, or Power over Ethernet, is, and I think really there's like 3 main categories. You could probably make you could really make a fourth for sure with cameras, but you've got like fully wired, let's say. So PoE is fully wired, right? You've got the camera has to be fully wired all the way to the central base. Then you've got like Wi-Fi type of cameras, which just need to be, and these are generally called wireless cameras. These are going to be, they still have wire for power, but they transmit data wirelessly. And then you have what are being called wire-free cameras, which really just means battery-powered. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of battery-powered cameras. The way they work, first of all, is obviously on batteries, but they're not always recording. They only record events, like motion-detected events or passive IR detected events, which I'm just not the biggest fan of. They have their various use cases for sure, but I'm more after something that's just recording 24/7. So then that pretty much throws me into the category of the wireless or Wi-Fi cameras versus fully wired. Now, I already have wireless cameras. Those are really nice for when you have like a good distance from your main base unit. But you're close to a plug that you could just plug in and power them. So they have their use. But the problem is they still lose their signal from time to time. I mean, just like the wind blowing can make the signal go away. And so that's kind of annoying. So with PoE, you just have high fidelity. Like, it's going to work. Or any fully wired camera, you can have a little more trust and faith in the system. 99% of what I use cameras for is like, bing bong, the doorbell rings. I just want to look right over to my monitor and see what's going on. So, and yes, I know that they have all kinds of things that you can just like put up there. But the problem is then you got to like open up your phone or whatever. And I want to literally be able to just look instantly and get my answer. So anyways, not to say there's not places for like the battery powered stuff or, any other options out there. It just kind of depends. So in my case, I've got a garage that is unfinished, so there's no insulation on the walls, and there's really just plywood for the ceilings, but being able to run the cords will be super simple here. Also, the best deterrence there could possibly be. So in here we got basically 4 of these. I think they're about 25 feet, but don't quote me on that. Then we got 4 cameras, DVR, mouse for the DVR, and somewhere in there should be like an HDMI cable and all that. So now what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and pull away all this stuff and start plugging it in. It doesn't come that messy, by the way. I'd already opened it up. As far as setting it up, super simple, just plug and play. All right, let's drill some holes. This is one of the best tools ever made. On the camera, there's like 3 2mm Allen screws. Each camera comes with a supplied 2mm Allen wrench. You can turn all those to adjust rotation and all that. So to adjust the camera, all I did was I just used the Reolink app on my phone, and then I adjusted the camera to exactly where I wanted it, angle-wise and all that. So that was actually super darn simple to get everything set up. Now, did mention before that you could, in theory, you could use a PoE camera and not actually wire it all the way to a central unit. And so this picture is just a quick example of a way that I tested to make sure that I was correct there. And sure enough, if you wanted to, you could have a PoE switch. So in this case, I'm just using a Netgear PoE switch connected to a Google Wi-Fi router, and then obviously power the switch and then plug the camera into it, and that works totally fine. Interestingly enough, if it's on the same network as the NVR actually picks it up and you could record straight to the NVR, but you can also do all the other things that you can do. So this is just an image of the night shot from the app on my phone. The app, again, super simple to set up. You just have to log in. That's it. It took me like, I don't know, a minute to get everything set up, so that was really impressive. This is of the backyard, the infrared. It might be kind of hard to tell, but that's actually a pretty good distance there. So the distance from where I'm showing this image now, and again, this image is an image off of my phone, and I didn't realize it at the time, but you can actually set the quality to be full quality. So this is a degraded quality in the name of, one, not using up a bunch of phone data, but also to stream it very smoothly. But when it records, it records in high definition. Anyways, the distance there to the door is about 73 feet. I measured it. And then to the corner there is 85 feet. So if everything was in your favor, you might get the up to 100 foot. But this is actually pretty darn good. This is much better than my other infrared cameras. So then I've moved it a little bit, and just to show you. So the leaves there that are real bright, those are 25 feet away. So that's pretty good, because I turned off all the lights and all that. Most of the time when you see infrared examples of IR cameras, they generally have a light source that is at least aiding them. And in this case, there was no light source. Even the reflection that you see there, that's the infrared. So anyways, I'm pretty impressed. And finally, onto the Reolink software. If the phone app was any indication, it's no surprise that the desktop app is just as simple to use. Has quite a bit more features though. So first of all, you can obviously set up all kinds of different organizations of the cameras that you want to go with. Also, first of all, I'm only showing 2 cameras. Thought it was kind of stupid to show like all of the cameras. So anyway, just the 2. And the reason why this is getting duplicated, interestingly enough, is this is the camera that I showed just moments ago that's connected only via the Google Mesh networking, the Google Wi-Fi router. So that's pretty cool. It's being shown twice because it's being picked up as like a camera on the network, but also the NVR is picking it up because it's on the same network. I didn't think that would happen. I thought you would have to wire the camera to the NVR if you wanted to record onto it. That's not the case. So that's pretty cool. So anyways, you can change the layout, all that. You could double click on one of them, and yeah, so now you've got basically like the full resolution of that camera. It looks pretty good. And you can do all kinds of stuff. So first of all, we could go into the settings for the actual desktop itself. We could set up various rules and stuff for downloading and capturing things like from your cameras to your local machine. I wouldn't recommend it unless you've got giant hard drives though. But then you can also set up the NVR itself by clicking on the settings here. And then again, same things. You can do various schedules. So right now this is just a 24/7 schedule, but I could, knock out a block here or something like that if I wanted to, or I could say, you know what, in this time range, I actually record, but only if you see motion or something like that you can do. So that's pretty cool. And again, super intuitive just to set that up and get it structured how you want. Also, besides recording to your PC, you also can actually record the cameras to FTP. So if you're really security conscious or you're really worried that you're going to get broken into or whatever and you want to save the evidence, that's the best way to do it. A lot of times if they're going to break in, they're going to want to find out where it's getting recorded to, but if it's going to FTP, good luck. So anyways, also you can go to Playback. You can playback historically, and if you're recording on motion or there's motion detected, You could very quickly find that. Otherwise, like I'll go to the NVR, I'll choose channel 2, and I can see down here, my head's kind of in the way, but I can see down here all the dates that there is something. So this has only been connected, well, this has been connected as of yesterday to the specific spot. So what we could do is I could just go over here. All the other time it's just I had it in my garage. And we can hit play here. Oh, I probably need to bring it. No, it's there. Okay. So again, you can see the night vision, but it's getting a lot of reflection both from the porch light here, but then also here. So as far as night vision, I'd probably want to like angle it maybe away from the tree or something like that, or maybe cut away some more of these leaves so we're not getting that reflection back to the camera. Anyway, let's go. Let's try to find some daylight here. There we go. Beautiful. Amazing. Okay. So the next thing is, like, let's say, oh, I see something or I want to download it or whatever. You can just come up here and hit this download. And then basically you can download it in like hour chunks. You can download multiple chunks if you wanted, or all the chunks if you wanted, but it's basically separated into little hour chunks for you. Hit download and it'll go to your download directory. So anyways, I believe that covers everything with the cameras. Overall, I'm super impressed. This was one of the easiest ones to set up. I was a little worried with, you know, having to run the wires, but again, you could use a switch, but also Reolink does produce Wi-Fi cameras. So if that's what you're really going after, then use it. Although I would say if you do use Google Wi-Fi, you know how good it is. So I would probably rather use that than the Wi-Fi camera. I haven't used theirs, but the other Wi-Fi cameras I have, I don't like them as much because they lose signal fairly frequently, especially because it's going through like brick walls and many other walls to get to a central unit. So anyway, that's it. I'm super impressed. I really like these cameras. If you're looking for you know, PoE cameras, I would highly recommend these. If you have any questions, comments, whatever on the cameras, feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.